There's one truth every successful person knows deep down in their bones. There is no success without risk. You can't play it safe and expect extraordinary results. You can't walk a path of comfort and arrive at a destination of greatness. If you're not risking failure, embarrassment, or rejection, then you're not even in the game. Success, a word so powerful, so desired, so frequently spoken, yet so often misunderstood, because success is not just a destination. It's a transformation, a process, a journey that demands more than talent, more than dreams, more than desire. It demands risk, undeniable, unavoidable, sometimes uncomfortable risk, because there is, and never has been, such a thing as success without it. Risk is the entry ticket, the cost of admission, the silent companion that walks beside every great endeavor. And no matter how many skills you possess, how many goals you write down, or how long you visualize your future, if you're not willing to risk something, your comfort, your time, your energy, your pride, your certainty, then you are not truly in pursuit of success. You're merely wishing for it, flirting with the idea of it, but not courting it with the seriousness it requires. The truth is, life does not reward the hesitant, the fearful, or the overly cautious. It rewards the bold, the persistent, the courageous, those who dare to act while others wait, those who step forward while others second guess, those who say yes to opportunity, even when the outcome is uncertain, even when the road is unpaved, even when fear screams louder than faith, because it is in those moments, when your heart is racing, your hands are trembling, and your mind is swimming with doubt, that the seeds of success are planted deep beneath the surface, far beyond the comfort zone, in the raw soil of uncertainty, where only the brave are willing to dig, to sweat, to sacrifice, and to believe that something greater is possible. You see, comfort is deceptive. It feels like safety, like peace, like control, but in reality, it is a soft prison, a velvet cage lined with excuses. And while you may avoid failure within its walls, you also forfeit greatness, freedom, and growth, because success never blooms in the soil of safety. It requires discomfort, it requires sacrifice, and yes, it requires risk, because you cannot swim to new shores while clinging to the edge of the harbor, and you cannot fly while your feet are still glued to the ground. Every decision you avoid, every chance you don't take, every step you delay in the name of fear is a tiny betrayal of your potential, a quiet surrender to the false comfort of someday. And if you're not careful, your entire life can become a collection of almosts, maybes, and what-ifs, echoes of dreams that died not because they weren't possible, but because you were too afraid to try, to leap, to bet on yourself even when nothing was guaranteed. So ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Is it failure, judgment, rejection, loss? Or is it the truth that success will demand a version of you that you haven't yet become? Because if it's the latter, let me tell you something important. You become that version through risk, not before it, not without it, not by avoiding it, but by stepping into the fire of fear and choosing to act anyway, by facing the unknown and realizing you are stronger than your doubts, more capable than your excuses, more resilient than your circumstances, because risk is not the enemy, it is the catalyst. Every time you risk something meaningful, whether it's your pride, your money, your comfort, or your time, you gain something even more valuable. Courage, clarity, character, and the momentum that only comes from movement, from motion, from pushing through resistance and arriving at a place you've never been before. Not because someone carried you there, but because you dared to go. Risk is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the the planners from the performers, the ones who talk about what they'll do someday from the ones who are out there doing it today. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Not because they were certain, but because they believed the journey itself was worth it. And here's the truth most people avoid. There is no perfect plan, no guaranteed path, no foolproof formula, only decisions, followed by action, followed by adjustment, followed by risk, followed by growth, and on the cycle goes. And the more you embrace that cycle, the more success becomes inevitable, not because the world owed it to you, but because you earned it. Risk by risk, step by step, fall by fall, and rise by rise. So stop waiting for a sign, for permission, for the stars to align perfectly, because they won't, and they don't need to. The only alignment you need is between your heart and your feet, your vision and your action, your values and your courage. And once you have that alignment, the only thing standing in your way is your willingness to risk. And yes, risk hurts sometimes. Yes, it stings, it challenges you, it exposes your weaknesses, it humbles your pride. But it also strengthens your spirit. It sharpens your instincts. It teaches you things no comfort ever could. And if you're brave enough to stay in that arena, to keep showing up despite the bruises, despite the doubts, despite the fear, you will find that the person you become in the process is more valuable than anything you thought you were chasing. Because success is not a moment, it's a mindset. Not a trophy, but a transformation. Not a single win, but a lifestyle of choosing growth over ease, purpose over fear, and action over stagnation. And all of that begins with your relationship to risk. So look at your life right now. Where are you playing small? Where are you hesitating? What dream have you shelved out of fear of the unknown? What part of your soul have you silenced because you didn't want to rock the boat? And then ask yourself, what's the cost of not trying? Of not leaping? Of not risking? Because make no mistake, inaction is not safety. It is risk in disguise. The risk of regret. The risk of missing your window. The risk of living half a life when you were born for greatness. The risk of waking up one day and realizing you spent more time protecting yourself than pursuing your purpose. And that more than anything else is the greatest risk of all. So choose the noble risk, the one that stretches you, the one that calls to your spirit, the one that scares and excites you at the same time, the one that asks more of you than you've ever given, and then give it, fully, fiercely, completely. Because even if you fail, and sometimes you will still win, because you will have dared, you will have grown, you will have lived. And in a world where most choose survival over success, existence over excellence, the simple act of risking for something meaningful already places you in rare company. And if you keep risking, keep acting, keep showing up, keep moving forward, success will not be a matter of if, but when. Because every risk plants a seed, and while some may take longer to bloom, none will bloom at all unless you first take that leap, that chance, that courageous decision to say, I am more than my fear, I am more than my doubt, I am more than my past, and I am willing to risk for the future I believe in. So rise up, not later, not someday, but now, today, because your moment is here, your dream is alive, your path is waiting, and your only barrier is the belief that safety is more valuable than significance. It's not. And deep down, you already know this, don't you? That's why the dream won't die, why the vision won't fade, why that whisper inside keeps saying, go, try, move, leap, because it knows what you're capable of, even if you've forgotten, and it will never stop calling you forward. Until you listen, until you leap, until you risk it all for something real, something true, something worth the struggle. And when you do, you'll realize success was never about luck or timing or talent. It was always about the one who was brave enough to risk it all to become all they were meant to be.